how you doing? Welcome back. How'd you go with your tarts last week? I hope you all enjoyed those, and I hope a few of them made it to school. Didn't get eaten all in one go. Hey, today we're going to make a winter salad. And what we've done is, I was just going through the garden again this morning and found some beautiful little leaves in there. So I'll run through what we're going to put in there. Now, what I've done is I've gone through the garden and I've picked the smallest leaves that I can, so they're nice and tender. We're going to be eating this raw. We're not going to be cooking any of these greens, so we want to pick the best ones we have. So go through and do that. We've got some feta cheese, some currants, some eggs. Now these eggs, very simply, into boiling water for 7 minutes. Super important, put the timer on, yeah? 8 minutes, yeah, not so much. 6 minutes, you won't get them out. Still delicious, but 7 minutes into cold water, and then you can peel them. I've got some roasted almonds. They just went into the oven at 170 degrees for about 12 minutes. If you wanted to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on those, you could, and put a little bit of spice on them. That would also be lovely. Some really finely sliced red onion, apples, beautiful, and then some balsamic and some olive oil. Pretty much that's what's going into our salad today. So it's a one bowl dish, so nice and simple. So come over and we'll get this bowl going. Okay guys, so I've already cut a few of the greens, washed them of course, the ruby shard and so forth, just to get it on. But the same thing as we've always been doing, we take the leaves off before we cut it. We're going to discard that to the compost, and these leaves, we're going to cut that up nice and fine. Make sure they're nice and fine, just because it's raw. We probably didn't actually need to take it off the stem, but it just makes it easier for you to cut. So make sure that we cut those nice and fine as well, and they'll go in. The curly kale, I can pick that straight off, but just make sure that you pick it really fine and don't get any of the woody stems in there. This rocket, this beautiful rocket, I'll put a few leaves in there. Super peppery at this time of year, but I like that, so we'll just chuck that in there. And then, so that's the basis of that salad. Now, what we need to do now, we'll just toss that. I like to dress this a little bit now with a little bit of balsamic vinegar and a little olive oil, and I'll season that with a bit of salt and pepper as well. Now the reason that I dress this now is that I want to be able to really toss this around without breaking anything up later on. When I put the other ingredients in, I want those flavors to be separate. So I'm gonna really get in there and toss that around, and that can just sit for a minute while we cut the other vegetables up and put everything else in there. But this is a salad that likes a little bit of dressing, so don't be shy with that. So we can get that just to sit there while we put the other ingredients in there. Some almonds, now you don't have to chop them, I'm just going to quickly give them a chop. Once again, put a nut in there that you like. Doesn't have to be almond, you know, some hazelnuts would be lovely in there as well, pine nuts, any of those things would be lovely in there. Currants, beautiful. Now, the reason that we put currants in there, you think, why are we putting fruit into our salad? And we just put a few in there, and you can soak those if you wanted to in their balsamic beforehand, but we just put those in there because it just gives a little bit of sweetness, and it helps out. The onions, super fine. Cut those up really fine. As much or as little as you like. Some apple. Now, what I've done, what I'm doing, is we will be just cutting little battens of apple. You could grate it if you wanted to. You could dice it, doesn't really matter. Anything that you want to do. Make sure that you use all the apple. A couple of apples would be good. One apple's fine. And so at this point, it's about putting in what you like. So there, I like to put that feta in there, so I'm going to put that feta in and crumble that through. Now how simple and how fast really is that? That's literally, apart from cooking those eggs for 7 minutes and washing a few veg, that has been almost instantaneous. So super quick. When you're busy, you can just grab it. You've got those things there. You've got those pantry goods from Hill Street, which is fantastic. Toss it around. And now I don't need, because I've already dressed those greens with the balsamic and the olive oil before, I don't really need to mix it too much. But I'm just going to put that in there. Now, you might want to put a little bit more dressing. I like it nice and crunchy like that. And then it goes like that. So we've got one cell there. And then it's as simple as grabbing one of these eggs. Now, you're going to see these eggs when I cut it. A 7-minute egg. How delicious is that? That yolk, because it's a little bit runny, is going to come out and almost be like a little dressing on there. Now, you can just put one egg. For today I'm going to put 2. And there you go. You might want to chuck a few extra chopped almonds on top. Whatever you like. That's good. Okay guys, here we go. Our wintergreen salad with apples, almonds, feta, with 7-minute boiled eggs in there on top. Delicious. I did that.